Oh Canada, Leafs win. How's it going, everyone? I hope you guys are excited as I am, that Toronto Maple Leaf hockey is back, NHL hockey in general, and the Leafs start off this season with a 5-4 overtime win and a 3-1 deficit comeback against the Montreal Canadiens. Now, the game didn't start off in our favor, obviously, and I think we have to point out that Nick Suzuki is absolutely awesome and elite, and he's going to be for the Montreal Canadiens for a long time, hoping that they keep him around and they don't end up trading him. But he scored off that rebound chance, and it was such a sharp angle. If like one of the cameras picked it up, and it just looked impossible. Like, I'm sure if regular people like you or me were to try and put the puck in from that angle with no pressure or anything, it would probably take a couple tries. And being that he's a right-handed shot, that wasn't his strong side either that he shot it off of. So just shows the skill of players like him. And I know that's an easy play for any NHL player. They should be able to put the puck in, but just shows that he's a huge piece to Montreal's future. So yeah, so it started off 1-0 for Montreal. And a couple minutes later, the Leafs answer, and William Nylander pots his first goal of the season. So Nylander off to a good start, and it's good to see that because, you know, Nylander's been one of the more streakier players for the Leafs, and him contributing early first game of the season is a good sign. If he can keep that up and keep using his shot, which he has an absolutely lethal one, he needs to keep shooting the puck more, and the puck's going to go in more for him. Now, with less than a minute left in the period, Josh Anderson, the newly acquired Josh Anderson, scores, makes it 2-1 for Montreal, and obviously he was traded for Max Domi, a trade that I still don't think was the best for Montreal, being that Domi is younger and it seems like he's a little bit more impactful night to night. Although Josh Anderson is a complete hockey player, he's something that the Canadiens have lacked in a versatile player, especially on the wing. But he scores to make it 2-1 Montreal. Gets a power play. Thomas Tatar scores, makes it 3-1. And the Leafs are down early in the second period, and it's not looking good for them. A lot of high-quality scoring chances going Montreal's way. And the Leafs get a 5-on-3 power play with Shea Weber putting the puck over the glass after Nick Suzuki takes a penalty, back-to-back penalties, and giving the Leafs a minute and 57 minutes of 5-on-3 power play time. Right away, Nylander would strike again for his second of the season and the second of the game. He completely faked out the defense there, and everyone on the ice except for him thought he was going to pass to Jason Spezza, and he looked off Spezza and shot it right over the glove side of Carey Price, and which is really hard to do because Carey Price has probably one of the best gloves in the game, and he's very good at saving pucks up high. But when you're in that close, in that type of scoring area, I think any perfectly placed shot's going to beat almost any goaltender. Minute 21 later, Tavares picks up another power play goal for the Maple Leafs, and he tips one home. And really nice tip. I don't even know if he really knew where he was trying to deflect it, but it goes right between his legs, and that ties the game up for the Maple Leafs 3-3. Now, as I went for a bathroom break, I come back in, and the Montreal Canadiens have the lead, as no surprise to anyone, that's what happens. You know, you walk away for 3 seconds and something happens, and that was Josh Anderson scoring again. So he makes that 4-3 for Montreal Canadiens. And a really underrated pickup, I think, and that may have some upside, who contributed in this one, picks up the loose puck in front of the net. Jimmy Vesey scores, and that ties the game up again. So with about half a period left, they play out kind of more defensive game, trying to secure the point, because these games, with only 56 to play in a season, every game is going to be important. So you're probably going to see a little bit less aggressiveness if the game's tied, because they're going to want to more secure the point, and you don't want to lose in regulation at all. You want to limit that a lot this season. So as we go to overtime, you can clearly see that there's a lot of rust with these teams, especially with the line changes. I think was what almost cost the Leafs the game. They really chose some bad time some bad times to call for line changes, and especially with giving up a breakaway in overtime. They were definitely caught on a bad change there, and I thought it was going to be it, but Deneau couldn't score. You could tell he was exhausted. He kind of deked himself out, and that could have been the game there. But it wasn't the game. Tavares and Riley go on a 2-on-1. Tavares feeds it to him, and that is the game. So the Maple Leafs win 5-4 in overtime and get their first 2 points and win of the season. Now let's kind of go over some points of the game and some initial impressions of new players. What I liked in general, what I liked early on was I liked Joe Thornton. And as I actually was speaking to my dad about it, and he liked how he was playing. He agreed with me on some things, but the one thing was that it's obvious that for a full season, even though it's only 56 games, I don't really think he's going to be able to keep up with the speed of Matthews and Marner. They go out a lot more. They get a lot of power play time, and they are always going at 1,000 miles an hour. Thornton, obviously, he's never been a fast player, like one of the fastest ones in the league, even when he was at his prime, but he makes up for it in intelligence. So he's able to not panic, and obviously when there's people coming in on him, he makes really intelligent plays, and he gets the puck to areas that they're able to create 50-50 plays, and that's what you want. So when you're being pressured in either your zone, the offensive zone, you want to put the puck into an area where your teammates have a chance to get it back. And that's what he does, right? So, and he's always been good at that, and that's why he has so many assists in his career. That's why he has so many points. He's always been an amazing distributor of the puck. And obviously, I think the one that a lot of people were happy with was Wayne Simmonds, after we were down 3-1, deciding to fight. And although it was just a very quick scrum, he still pointed at the bench and wanted them to get fired up. Obviously, with no home crowd, it's a little bit different because they don't really respond in the way that they would to a fight, the crowd getting into it and the bench getting into it. But he was brought in here for a reason, and it wasn't just a fight, but it was just the presence on the ice of us needing that element of protection in some ways. And I know we had people in the past like Matt Martin, who their job really was to come in and protect them, but Wayne Simmonds knows how to play hockey. They told him he was going to be a big presence in front of the net. They gave him a role. They didn't say come in here and fight, which I think just coming in and fighting, obviously there aren't those players in the league anymore, that's just their job. And you need to be able to also contribute and not be a liability defensively, which I don't think Simmonds is, but he's obviously given that bottom six role, and I think it's going to be interesting for him to see what he can do with that. Another thing that I found interesting was when I was watching, and the broadcaster said that Frederik Andersen was beat 5-hole more than any other goalie last year. And it was a little bit of a surprise because I didn't realize that he would lead in a category like that. And I don't know if it's just one of his weaknesses. Clearly it's being exposed, and it's something that's going to need to be addressed. And if they find something in a goalie's game, they're going to try to exploit it. And whether that means they're going to be shooting low, even if he does cover up the 5-hole, they're going to be shooting for more rebounds, which in the past has been the Leafs' worst things, is recovering from rebounds, the defenseman boxing out and making sure that they don't jump on those rebounds and put them in as for a goal. But with something like that, TJ Brody definitely did a really good job last night. Broadcasters were praising him for his box out ability, and that's the one thing that we definitely lacked in the years prior. And so it looks like now TJ Brody's going to pay off on the defensive end. The only thing I would say about the defense last night was Zach Bogosian's discipline. I think he took a couple penalties that were a little lazy. He had a tripping call and I believe an interference call. So right there, 2 minutes each, and you don't want to be sitting in the box all the time, especially taking those type of penalties. And if you're in the offensive zone, you obviously don't want to be taking any type of penalty at all, because those are the worst kind, and there was no threat of a scoring chance against you, and that's just something you want to avoid. So the next game is Friday, tomorrow. The Leafs are going to be playing their first game against the Ottawa Senators of the year, and for first back-to-back of the year. And I would truly say that the Battle of Ontario has come back for Ottawa and Toronto. I'm really excited to see what Ottawa is going to be doing, and I think they've really managed their assets really well in a time where they could have done very poorly under the management that they have with Eugene Melnyk. I think they've done the best that they can with the situation they have. So I hope everyone comes by tomorrow night and watches Tim Stützle in his NHL debut against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Everyone who's playing tonight, good luck to all your teams, and let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about last night's game. Don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.